I was sitting in my own driveway when the officer told me to step away from the vehicle. I want to be clear about the timeline because it still doesn't feel real when I say it out loud. I had pulled into my driveway at 6:14 in the evening. I live in a townhouse community with assigned parking. I have lived there for 3 years. I was in my own assigned spot, in my own car, holding my own phone, when the first patrol car pulled in behind me and blocked me in. I work in logistics. I spend a lot of time in my car making calls between stops. That evening, I was parked in my spot finishing a call with a vendor before going inside. I had my phone up near the window because the signal in my unit is poor. That's the entire story of what I was doing. The officer who approached my window told me there had been a report. A neighbor had called in a suspicious person in the parking area, using what appeared to be a scanning or surveillance device aimed at the surrounding units. I looked at my phone. I told him it was my phone. He asked me to step out of the vehicle. I stepped out. I was cooperative. I want to emphasize this because it mattered, and also because it didn't matter at all. A second patrol car arrived while the first officer ran my plates, then a third. At one point, there were 5 officers standing in my small parking lot, which has space for maybe 12 cars total. Several of my neighbors had come outside. I recognized 2 of them. One I had helped carry groceries up the stairs the previous winter. She watched from her doorway without saying anything. They searched my car. I consented because I had nothing to hide, and also because the situation had taken on a momentum that felt dangerous to interrupt. They found my work tablet, a clipboard with delivery manifests, 3 phone chargers, an emergency kit my mother had given me, and a fast food bag I'd been meaning to throw away for 2 days. The officer examining my tablet asked what the application was that was open on the screen. I told him it was a route optimization tool my company required all logistics employees to use. It showed a map with location pins. He showed it to the lead officer. They conferred in a way that excluded me entirely, despite the fact that I was standing 4 feet away. The lead officer came back and asked me to explain again what I did for work. I explained it again. He asked if I had work identification. I had a badge in my glove compartment. I got it. He looked at it for a long time. 40 minutes into this, one of the neighbors who had been watching came down from her unit. She was an older woman. I knew her well enough to wave to. She told the officer she'd seen me park in that spot nearly every evening for the past 2 years, and that she believed I lived in Unit 14. The officer thanked her and wrote something down. 10 minutes after that, the lead officer handed me back my badge and said they had confirmed I was a resident and that I was free to go. He said it the way you'd say it to someone who had been briefly inconvenienced, not someone who had been standing in a parking lot surrounded by 5 police cars while their neighbors watched from doorways. I went inside. I sat on my couch for a while without turning on any lights. The next morning, I filed a formal account of the incident with the non-emergency line. Not a complaint exactly, just a documented record. The woman who took my information was professional and thorough and told me I could request any reports generated from the call. I did request them. The original call description listed a male matching my description acting suspiciously with an electronic device. The device was my phone. I was in my assigned parking spot. The call had come from within the building. I still don't know which neighbor called. I've thought about that more than anything else. What I know is that I was in my driveway. I was on my phone. I was doing nothing. And for 40 minutes, none of that was enough. I've started going inside immediately when I get home now. I don't sit in my car to finish calls anymore. I'm aware of what that adjustment means, and I made it anyway because some calculations you do without wanting to.